Alrighty, good morning, good morning, good morning. Just a quick voice check before we begin. Let me know if everything's a-okay. We'll be beginning in, 30 seconds. Not gonna waste too much time. So it does seem like some of you can't hear me while some of you can. Alright, that's interesting. Okay, cool. Hey, Ajesh. Good to see you all in here. We got Randy, we got Ajesh, we got Scotty, we got Stanton. And hey, great trade on that one, Randy. Really great trade. Ajesh and Randy killing it, eh? All right, let's begin. Just gonna make sure I got everything in order. And while I do that, guys, make sure to hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you're new here. Easy shotter. How's it going, brother? How's it going? And good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Mango Grove. Today, we are going to be covering Ethereum. It's been a while since I've covered Ethereum. Believe it or not, guys, Ethereum is one of the most traded coins in my arsenal. I legitimately think that I've traded Ethereum more than Bitcoin. Right, Ethereum is the first coin I started trading aggressively, and even while I switched my conviction on over to Bitcoin, Ethereum is the coin that I consistently traded since the beginning of my crypto trading career. Ethereum has been that coin. I have a love-hate relationship with this coin because of just that. Because I've traded it so much. I'm viscerally familiar with its volatility, and I pretty much know all of the key levels at the back of my head. Just well, not verbatim, but when I look at the chart, I just know where the key levels of contention are going to be. Right. So today's analysis is not going to be your typical Mango analysis because it is going to be a tad bit more convoluted for those of you who do want to trade the mid time frames and the lower time frames. And we're going to wrap up with a very Mango way of looking at things too, in that how can you trade the higher time frames, how you can accumulate Ethereum for the longer term cycle, because I am looking to accumulate Ethereum as well this time around, because for the previous cycles, I've been accumulating Bitcoin. That's done now. I have my nice Bitcoin stash. Ethereum, I do think it is underpriced at the moment. I do think there's a little bit, there's far too much FUD on it. But when you value it against Bitcoin, that's a different story. We're not here to talk about that, though, at the moment. USD prices, though, I think a lot of people are going to be looking at these prices in the future and be thinking, damn, I had a chance to accumulate Ethereum at underneath 1,400-ish, underneath 1,000-ish, right? So we're going to be talking about key levels that if we see those levels again, you need to consider strongly picking up some. We're also going to be talking about key levels, Ethereum. If it breaks those levels, how far Ethereum can go. Like that, Ethereum can move, guys. Trust me, it can move like that to the downside too. So you got to be ready when pertaining to Ethereum. You got to be ready to accumulate, to get those really juicy bids, right? It's going to move fast. Ethereum moves fast, up and down. But when it moves fast down, don't be afraid of it. Welcome it, because that's going to be your opportunity leading into this bull market. When it breaks to the upside, you already need to be in position. You already need to have been in position, or you need to act a bit faster than you usually would than other altcoins. Okay, so this is what we're going to be talking about today. Basically, we're going to be looking at the daily time frame across from 2017 all the way to here, to where we are at 2023. I'll be giving you guys a general idea of how it's moved and how you can use that as a template for how it's likely going to move. I think it's going to pretty much be the same way, right? So before we do that though, we're going to start off with the dashboard. Okay, the dashboard will keep things simple. I've been using the dashboard for Ethereum. I've been keeping an I told you guys this like 2 weeks ago, right? Keep an eye on Ethereum, keep an eye on Ethereum, keep an eye on Ethereum. And I've been watching it closely, trading it as well. But the most specific thing in regards to the dashboard is how systematic Ethereum has been in its trend structure. People have been saying, and Bitcoiners too, hey, Bitcoin's outperforming Ethereum, Bitcoin's outperforming Ethereum. But that may change in a jiffy, okay? And we got to be ready, okay? Even if we want to accumulate Bitcoin, we can take advantage of the opportunity showing up on Ethereum to collect Bitcoin or Cardano or whatever coin of your choice, right? IMX, Cardano, whatever it be. How many of you guys are, by the way, IMX bulls? Let me know in the live chat, in the comments, because I think IMX might be picking up a really, really strong community. And I've been trading IMX, so the chart has been fantastic to trade as well. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Hit the pause button and let me know. And what coin do you guys want me to cover next? Because we covered Cardano. We covered Bitcoin this week. By the way, we also sent you guys an email on an update in regards to Cardano, right? If you guys missed that email and you guys are not in the Mango Alpha email list, sign up underneath. It's a free email list where I'll be sending out my thoughts. Kush, I'll be sending out my thoughts. Kush, I'll be sending out her thoughts as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. We're looking at the dashboard over here across all time frames. You hit the drop down button. This is a new feature on the dashboard that allows us to look at all the time frames at the same time, along with the volatility and all the flags, right? So the main time frame we're looking at is the daily, but hit the drop down so we can see the 4 hour, the 12 hour, the daily, the 2-day, the 4-day, and the weekly, and you can see it's long across the board. But what's really, really cool about Ethereum is how systematic it has been, okay? Starting with the 12 hour, you can see that we switched 22 days ago. Wall is still 26. Wall is still low. Then the daily switched 21 days ago. The 2-day switched 18 days ago. The 4-day switched 14 days ago. And the weekly just switched a little more than a week ago, right? It's systematically breaking through the time frames while keeping the volatility structure really low. And I want you guys to look at the right-hand side. We have bullish Ichimoku flags pretty much across the board as well. The 4 hour, the 12 hour, the daily, and the 2-day. The 4-day and the weekly have not switched, and we're gonna go and show you the Ichimoku opportunity on the 4-day and the weekly as well at the end of the stream. Stay tuned for that. I'm not expecting them to switch anytime soon, but there is massive opportunity when you look at the actual chart, and you have been following Mango for a while. You know those kind of opportunities that can show up. You need to grab onto them because they're asymmetrical opportunities. Asymmetrical opportunities. What do I mean by that? In that you risk a very small amount by being wrong in the trade, but the win on the trade could change your account, right? I love those kind of trades. Okay, so we're going to be going through pretty much all the time frames today, right? Because I'll be doing a proper breakdown, and we're going to start right here on the daily time frame. But what we're going to start with really is looking at the structure of how Ethereum has moved through all of, looking at the comments quickly. I'm seeing you guys saying Cardano, IMX. Okay, cool. I had IMX airdrop last cycle. Nice. Easy Shot has been farming airdrops and been making freaking millions and millions just farming airdrops. Attaboy. Okay, so structure of Ethereum through the cycle. You guys are going to see that I did something like this. Again, just going to do it really roughly, guys. Not going to be too specific with this. You had a massive run to the upside, put in like a consolidation, or bearish consolidation distribution, broke down, accumulated for the longest time, okay? And then that neckline, when we tested that, broke it and moved up really fast. Moved up really fast to all-time highs, and then broke the all-time highs, and then did something very, very similar, right? Let's go ahead, remove our squigglies. You're going to see that we put in a distribution formation. This time around, another head and shoulders, right? Left head, right shoulder, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Broke down, and now we've been accumulating again for the longest time. Now remember, when we broke past the accumulation neckline last time around, see this blue neckline here? We moved really fast to the all-time high zone, right? The all-time high zone and the rejection inflection point zone that I've been teaching you guys when pertaining to Bitcoin as well. The inflection point for Ethereum was right over here, okay? Right over here. That was coming at around 785. That's the equivalent of the $16,000 level, 16.6 to be exact, on Bitcoin, okay? No one was talking about 16K. No one was talking about 16K. Everybody thought that we either stop at 20K or we go down to 12K. Remember that? Remember that? And I kept telling you guys, since the beginning of the cycle, actually, since the beginning of the bull market, I kept telling you guys that 16K is the key level. It's the inflection point level, right? Similarly, on Ethereum, the inflection point level that everyone missed was 900. And we never came down after that, right? And had we traded that ourselves with strong conviction, we would have nailed the bottom perfectly on Ethereum. But we didn't trade that with strong conviction. We traded with medium conviction. So that being said, though, right, you don't need to have traded something to take advantage of it. Now we know that these inflection points are working. We can now say that, hey, with that idea in mind, if Ethereum breaks this zone here, this accumulation neckline, we are likely going to make a similar move to the top, okay? To the top of the zone over here, to its all-time high level and its next breakdown point. And we'll talk about the breakdown point very soon. It's not the all-time high level. But the reason I am gunning for the all-time high zone is because Ethereum has been trading very, very methodically, like we talked about, okay? Let me go ahead and delete all the squigglies. If you guys look at this accumulation structure, right? This head and shoulders, this neckline right over here, the measured move of the structure was actually perfect. Okay, let me go ahead and show you guys. This is the measured move. You take it from head to the wick over here and then just draw it down. You're going to see that we've come down and tested that measured move. Well, not perfectly, but we've come and tested around that zone, especially when you look at the weekly levels. Those candle closes were exactly around this level. You can see this? You can see this thin horizontal line that I've drawn over here, guys, at around 1,000-ish. That's around a weekly and monthly level, and we've come and tested that level to the T, right? So Ethereum got accumulated around there. Now, similarly, because Ethereum is respecting its measured moves, we can say that the measured move of this accumulation structure right over here is likely going to be met too. Now again, we're going to go ahead and do this, the same thing. Let me just move this out of the way. And we're going to be using the measured move coming in from this accumulation structure, right? And we're going to draw it at the neckline, and that's pointing to the $3,800 region. Now, notice how I'm using the word region. Notice how I'm not using the word target. We're not looking for targets here. Don't get too nitpicky. When you're looking for such a big move, right? All the way from 1,000 all the way to like 4,000, 3,000. These are 100%, 200%, 300% moves. You don't want to sacrifice your entire move turning around on you and coming all the way back down on you and doing a round trip just because you're trying to get that last 10%, that last 5%. How many of you guys have given up way too many profits because you've been too nitpicky on your take profits, or even on your entries, for that matter, right? Always use a zone and be like, I'm okay buying here, I'm okay taking profits here. And if it gets close enough and I'm at my computer, guys, I don't stress out. What I personally do is I cancel my bid and I start selling into the top order, and I'm out. The stress is not worth it, because you got to be mentally fresh for the next trade, okay? So yeah, notice the word is zone. So if we come up somewhere around here, this entire area, guys, is take profit. It's take profit. Okay, that being said, if you want to trade the interim timeframes, understand that there's a playoff point that I've been using in both zones. Okay. So notice first in the accumulation zone, what I've been using as a playoff point is the 1,300 region, 1,366 to be a little bit more specific. It's the playoff point right over here. this blue horizontal, you can see that every time Ethereum either breaks underneath or breaks above it, it tends to drift towards the upper zone. Okay. Now, you can see right over here, when we broke, we went right to the top of the zone. But right over here, when we broke, we didn't make it to the top of the zone, right? We found resistance somewhere around here, and we made back down here, broke down, and made it down to the next level. So it's not clear. It's not perfect, right? It's not trading up and down, it's not going from one level to the next level perfectly, but those are playoff points where you can go risk on, risk off, risk on, risk off, right? Even over here, you can see it. You can see if you zoom in, you can see how perfectly it bounced off the playoff point. So even though it didn't respect it perfectly on this level, in fact, it did actually. Let me just go ahead. Yeah, you can see that we broke right over here and we came all the way back down here, right? Now, over here too, this was where we got picked up in the banking crisis. Ethereum bounced there, came down there, got picked up, and made its way all the way immediately to the top of the zone. Now, we are coming up against the key level that we haven't tested in a year. That's last time we came up against this level was 15th August, guys. 15th August 2022. If Ethereum manages to break past the zone this time around, we're likely going to make our way eventually all the way up to $4,000, right? But we do have a similar playoff point coming in at 2,800-ish right over here. Now notice how I have this playoff point put in as a dotted line, as opposed to a horizontal, as a thick horizontal, because that's mentally telling me that this level is going to be chopped around, right? This level is not going to be your perfect pickup and your perfect rejection. We're likely going to, shoot above it, come down, shoot above it, come down, right? So this zone is where you can take some risk off, but don't expect it to be respected to the T. That's how I'm going to be playing it, okay? Personally, because remember, these are leverage trades. When you're trading leverage, you want to take your profits as quickly as possible when you have bigger positions. Okay, so if I have a big position going into the zone over here, I'm likely going to be taking profits around the zone. We're likely going to be seeing accumulation. This was also the breakdown point of this level right over here, of this head and shoulders. You can see that we broke down right over there, and boom, right? So around here, you're going to see a lot of contention, a lot of take profits, a lot of people trying to short that level, a lot of people who are underwater trying to be like, you know what, I'm out of this Ethereum trade, I'm break even now. There's going to be a lot of that going on around there. If, however, we just blow past it, which I think eventually we are going to, when you look at the higher time frames, when you look at the monthly, when you look at the weekly, it's just going to look like one clean candle. We're likely going to make our way all the way up to around 4,000. And that's where the fun really starts. Can Ethereum actually break past there, right? By that point, guys, I'm likely going to have all my leverage trades off the table, right? All my leverage trades off the table, and I'm going to be reevaluating. So that's how I'll be trading it on the lower to mid time frames. By lower to mid time frames, we're talking about daily and higher daily to around the 4-day time frame. However, if you are looking to accumulate Ethereum, and you are looking to invest in Ethereum for the long term, you guys should be just keeping it stupid simple, okay? And just look at your higher time frames. I'll be looking at, this is how I'll be accumulating. This is how I have been accumulating. I'm not fully allocated in Ethereum yet. I'm still under allocated in Ethereum. I don't have my co-allocation in Ethereum yet. But each time you come close to the weekly dynamic, just buy, right? Wait for it to come there. In fact, again, banking crisis, look how well this was respected. This was a sign of strength. We wicked underneath. It looked really, really ugly, but look how the weekly closed. The weekly closed fantastic, right? It closed above it. That was your cue to buy. Yeah, you missed underneath, but who cares? If, by the way, you had this horizontal drawn out, right, which we've been trading. I've been trading against this horizontal for 1 year now, right? Again, to talk about that later. But keep it simple. You don't need to get the perfect bids, because when you're buying, okay, if you didn't get the wick and instead you bought on the candle close, which is coming at around 1,500, Ethereum is now sitting at 1,900. That's still a $400 move. That's a big move. Right? Per Ethereum, you've already accumulated $400. So if this keeps going and you bought in at 1,500 and it goes to 3,000, you've 2x your trade. So don't get nitpicky. Comes close to the dynamic, accumulate. It closes underneath, start de-risking, right? Start de-risking because the trend may break. And the quicker you de-risk some, the easier it'll be to sell as price goes lower and lower and lower, right? So immediately, don't wait and be like, oh no, it'll recover. No, de-risk some. De-risk some makes it easier to take the loss, because once you've taken a loss at a higher price, mentally it gets easier to sell as price goes down, right? So let's talk about de-risking. Close underneath the dynamic over there, you de-risk a portion. Take out this wick over here, you de-risk your next portion. Once we lose this zone over here, guys, this is monthly support, right? In fact, take a screenshot, guys. Take a screenshot of this, right? You have your weekly dynamic here, you have your key resistance zone that I've marked out as well, and you have your monthly support underneath. That is how you trade the investment opportunity on this one, all right? Asymmetric trade, because if you accumulate along the dynamic, you have an opportunity, in my opinion, going all the way up to around, I would say minimum $3,000, right? So it's a 2x trade, but you're risking very little underneath the dynamic. By this point, you want to be exiting almost all of your trade. 1353. Breaking underneath 1353, this Ethereum trend has failed, and it's likely going to revisit the monthly support. Breaking the monthly support, crypto probably has bigger issues at that point if we break the monthly support. So if Ethereum loses around 1,000-ish, likely going to test 1875 again, lose 1875, likely going to be testing 400-ish, right? Hopefully it doesn't come to that. We already talked about the upside gains all the way up to 3,000, 4,000. It's only fair that we visit the potential of this trend failing. But again, to keep things very, very simple for you guys, we talked about the convoluted trade on the daily time frame, right? Lots of key levels over here. Key level 1368. If we do see another visit down there, that is definitely worth bidding. Definitely worth bidding. If we break the zone over here at around $2,000, that's where I think Ethereum starts making a quick move all the way up to 4,000. We do have a playoff point at around 2,800. Mark these levels out. 2,800 playoff point, which is a similar playoff point, not as strong though as 13,600. Now that I think about it, right? That's actually 2x the previous playoff point. I should have noticed that, but that's a 100% move from one playoff point to the other playoff point, right? So 1,300 times 2 is 2,600, and we're sitting around that level. So that's the break. That's how systematic Ethereum has been, guys. Okay, the playoff point, which is essentially the midpoint, close to the midpoint of the lower zone, is literally 2x the playoff point of the upper zone, which shows how systematically Ethereum has been played throughout these cycles. So if you think about it, right? Let's go ahead and draw something out here. You have your zones. You have your resistance and you have your support. Okay, Ethereum plays perfectly between these levels, in that we also have a key midpoint that is respected. But between those moves, there's a lot of chaos. And this is how I like to think of my longer-term Bitcoin trades as well. In that I have a can, right? This is a can of chaos. Okay, I have a can of chaos where prices move in like chaotic manner, within that can. But I know that can is falling to the upside. That Bitcoin is a can that's falling from $3,000 all the way up to $300,000. And my job is to make sure that I get to $300,000 while withstanding the volatility within that can. Now, you may want to go into that can and trade the volatility and have fun with that chaos, have fun with that can, but understand that you're entering a zone where you may get shook around and you may get dizzy, you may get nauseous, etc., etc. You're going into a freaking circus sometimes too. You need to understand when to trade that can, when not to trade that can. And that's where you use your higher time frames. Okay, as soon as things get beautiful in the higher time frames, know that can is really volatile on the inside. That can is really volatile inside because it's moving in the higher time frame beautifully. Once it's moving the higher time frame beautifully, that can that is being thrown, right? It's moving in a perfect trajectory, but within that, all the particles are freaking going in chaos. And if you try to trade within that can, within that chaos, while it's moving beautifully in the high time frame, you're missing that opportunity because you're getting chopped up. You're going to throw up, man. You're going to throw up everything that you've gained, right? So again, go back to your dashboard, okay? When did I stop trading Ethereum on the low time frames? As soon as the weekly switched, right here, 9 days ago. Weekly switched bullish to a long trend. I'm like, that's it. That's it. I'm just going to trade the high time frames. That's as simple as you keep it, okay? That's as simple as you keep it. So yeah, Ethereum now, if you look at the weekly, it's a clean chart, right? It breaks the zone here. I think it's just going to make its way all the way up to around 3,500, 4,000. We do have the break-off point around, playoff point around $2,700. Okay, so now we're going to wrap up with a quick Ichimoku analysis. We're going to start with the daily, and we're going to move on over to all the time frames leading up to the 4-day. We're going to stop at the 4-day time frame. Okay, so daily. What's the daily looking like? Green cloud, awesome. Tenkin above the Kijun. So the Tenkin is the blue line, guys. Really, really good. Kijun also moving. So we have the Tenkin aggressively moving towards price. We have price aggressively moving to the upside. We have a breakout actually. And we have the Kijun also angling towards the upside. So the entire picture is great. On top of which, we have cloud in equilibrium, relatively in equilibrium with price, right? The cloud isn't too far away. The distance between the cloud and price isn't too far away at all. 15%, really, really good. So things are in equilibrium. This trend is only just beginning, provided we break to the upside, okay? What I don't like is the 200 moving average is a bit too flat, which is essentially, the slope of the 200 moving average is essentially saying that the trend is not, it's kind of weak. The trend is kind of weak. We can go ahead and check the 200 exponential moving average, which should look a tad bit better. Hoping that it's above the 200. Yeah, it's above the 200 moving average. That's good. It's above the cloud too, which is good. So yeah, once you start seeing this move to the upside as well and start angling aggressively, you know that the trend is beginning to strengthen. So keep an eye on the 200 exponential moving average. So we have the green cloud, TK cross, bullish TK cross, and let's go ahead and check the lagging span. It should be above price as well, and lagging span is free and above price. So what you don't want to see, right, is the lagging span be stuck in price over here. Lagging span is free, which means that we've cleared shorter term, near term resistance levels, right? It's beginning to trend. The lagging span is showing a trending structure is what it's telling me right here. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at, let's turn off the lagging span, because it does get messy. Okay, 2-day now. Turn off the horizontals. 2-day is looking really, really good. This is one of Ethereum's best Ichimoku structures, in my opinion. This is the kind of structure I like to play on the 12-hour when pertaining to other altcoins, right? Ethereum doesn't trade that well on the 12-hour Ichimoku compared to like other altcoins I like to trade. But look at what it did here, right? We have bullish TK cross, price. Like this is what I've been teaching you guys for a long time now. I have we move into the cloud, right? We either break out of the cloud over here, or we come down, test the bottom of the cloud, and then break, right? We did the latter, which is the less bullish of the structures, but still now it's bullish because this resistance level over here between the 200 and 200 exponential, we've cleared, consolidated against it, tested it, broke it to the upside, tested it, and now we're looking to clear it, right? Cloud has now flipped green as well. If this keeps going, next, well, same levels that we talked about prior, but this is a trending structure now on the 2-day Ichimoku, which is really, really good. Green cloud, bullish TK cross, above the 200 moving average, above the 200 exponential moving average. Great. Let's look at the 3-day. What's going on over here? 3-day, edge-to-edge opportunity. We tested the, okay, let's start again. Broken to the cloud, tested the bottom of the cloud, tested the TK, TK held, bullish TK is still in place, tested the TK again, TK held, TK widened, bullish TK still in place, equilibrium still in place, tested the 200 exponential moving average, rejection, 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 but grinded up, up, up against it, broke it, not confirmed it just yet. We're about to confirm this in a day and 19 hours. If we close above it, edge-to-edge trade is activated. 200 moving average is actually above the cloud over here. So you could literally trade from the 200 exponential to the 200 moving average. We're likely going to test the 200 moving average and close underneath the cloud. Look for that trade. Test the 200 moving average, close underneath the cloud. Levels are 2,300, 2,200, okay? So yeah, that's your edge-to-edge trade on the 3-day. Similar edge-to-edge trade on the 4-day, but we are looking at the 200 moving average coming in at the middle of the cloud, right? If we can close a 4-day candle above the 200 moving average on Ethereum, likely going to make our way, we're likely going to finish the edge-to-edge trade at, well, 2,800-ish, right? Which is our playoff point from the beginning of the stream. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and do a proper rewind of key levels. Weekly levels that we're looking for Ethereum to break is 2,000-ish, 1,900-ish to 2,000-ish to the upside. Accumulation levels are at around 1,500. If you get down to 1,500, it's definitely a buy. This wick low is really important at around 1,350-ish. Lose both of those levels, the trend is done. Okay, note that down. Don't come up to me and say, hey, Sean, are you still in a Ethereum trade? You guys know exactly where I will be not looking at Ethereum anymore, right? If we lose those levels, I'll be out of my trade, right? So yeah, that's that. I'm just gonna go ahead and look at the comments really, really quickly. The chat, I wonder why the sound volume is always too small. I max my PC. Hey, is it me? Is it? I did a voice check and people say that the mic is fine, but let me know, and I can fix it on my end to the best of my ability. I'll try at least. But yeah, and on the daily time frame, again, quick review. You guys can take a screenshot of this, but we have the playoff point at 1,300. Weekly level. Oh, there's something here that I do want to mention, right? You guys can see that I have annotations over here. I've said over here, this is the weekly zone. Go ahead and delete this. Oops, not that. This. So even though we're looking at this on the daily, guys, understand that if we break this, if let's say we start seeing a big move to the upside, okay, over here, and you're not in position, watch out for Ethereum seeing a rejection right around this level, okay, on the weekly-ish, on the daily-ish, getting sold into. But if we see Ethereum get sold into that level but close above 1,900 on the weekly time frame, right, it's still a good picture. It is still a good picture. We are simply looking for a weekly close above here, and that's likely going to get Ethereum at the very least to 2,800. Sorry, 2,800. Yeah, same thing. Okay. All right, guys. With that, we're going to wrap up over here. This has been a 30-minute analysis on Ethereum. Remember, keep your life simple. On the dashboard, the volatility structure is looking really, really good across all the mid time frames. The lower time frames, of course, is likely going to chop up over here because the higher time frames are beginning to take over. But we are long on the weekly, long on the 4-day, and set your alerts. Don't forget that all you have to do is set your alerts. So to set your alert, by the way, if you want to set your alert for the day time frame, click on the daily over here and click on add alert. If you want to set your alert for the 2-day time frame, click on the 2-day time frame and click add alert for ETH USD. You can see our alerts for BTC. And yeah, set your alerts if you're struggling with time, struggling to keep up with the charts. We've made the dashboard, we've basically positioned the dashboard in a way to ensure that it's geared towards people who are trying to keep their lives mango, right? We don't want to make this too complex. We don't want to add too many features over here. The entire idea of everything designed over here is to make life easier, not more difficult, not more confusing, okay? So use the features, Just come in here, look at what the structure of the chart is, decide whether you want to, look at the structure of the volatility and the trend, and then decide whether you want to look at the chart. That's how I've been trading my altcoins. I look at this first, and then it tells me, yeah, it's not worth looking at my time, not worth checking out on the chart, right? Just right off the bat, you're going to start. It's also going to be a really, really good educational tool to understand what kind of trends you should be trading. Because people often trade against the trend without realizing it, right? This is going to keep you in check. It's kind of like training wheels, right? Because you know, hey, the trend is long, I'm going to trade in the direction of the trend, period. So for example, if the trend on the weekly was not long, I would trade only the lower time frames because I know that as soon as the weekly resistance comes in play, it will smack up against me and I'll be going against the trend. I don't want to trade against the trend, right? So the weekly was short. I'd be trading only the mid and lower time frames until the weekly turns long. On the flip side, for example, let's go ahead and look at IMX, right? IMX, I'm doing the complete opposite, right? Let me know in the comments below if you guys want a dedicated video on IMX. But on IMX, The weekly is long while everything else is short / neutral. So I'm not trading the lower time frames on IMX because it's literally telling me right here. This is literally telling me you're going to get chopped up. It's literally telling me you're going to get chopped up in the low time frames. Stick to the high time frames, you're going to be fine. And if you guys had done that, you would have been fantastic on your. Look at IMX, guys. 70 days, you would have been in your trade 70%. 1% a day, right? People want to make 1% a day. They're like, hey, I'm going to start trading. I'm just going to make 1% a day. And my life is going to be easy. I'm going to be a millionaire, right? Well, this is how you do it. But yeah. With that, at BTC, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and cover at BTC really quickly. So at BTC, guys, what you need to be looking at is the monthly time frame. On the this is what I'm looking at the very least, right? Take a screenshot of this. We're very close to monthly support right over here, right? This is a tough picture because you could say, hey, head and shoulders, neckline, we break this and then we come down, but we haven't broken it yet. And if this breaks to the upside, it's gonna threaten the flipping, right? At BTC is difficult to trade on the lower time frames because you're going to see that a lot of times it's going to put in the perfect structures, bear structures on the 4-hour, on the 12-hour, and then it'll break up. Then it'll put in the perfect bullish structures, and then it's going to break down, right? It's literally bear trap after bear trap after bear trap because there's massive accumulation going on between the whales on when they switch to Ethereum, when they switch to Bitcoin, which is why I called out that Travis dude on Twitter, that big hedge fund dude, he was like, hey man, he was basically shilling his Ethereum bags to the telling them, hey, buy Ethereum over here. He was saying it over here. And I posted a tweet saying, don't. The time to buy Ethereum against Bitcoin is going to come, but it definitely wasn't here, right? Now it's becoming a little bit more appetizing, but it didn't quite get to the level. For me to convert significant stash of my Bitcoin to Ethereum, I'm looking for at least these levels to get tested, and I'll be super, super interested at these zones over here, right? So that's how I'm looking at it. But this zone over here, we're too close to a key monthly level. The further we get away from it, right, the cheaper Ethereum gets against Bitcoin, right? That's how you're looking at it, right? When you're looking at BTC, you're looking at how cheap is my Ethereum compared to Bitcoin, or how expensive is Ethereum compared to Bitcoin. At the moment, Ethereum is pretty expensive compared to Bitcoin, but against USD, it's not, right? It's not. So it basically, guys, what you need to understand is Bitcoin at the moment is the better trade, but that may not, depending on what happens, that may not be the case for long. But you don't want to front run that either, right? I would be a buyer of Ethereum at this level. Like if it flips 0.08, I'd rather buy there because I'm not trading against resistance, right? Now, the quicker it comes down to these key support levels over here, the more keen I will be I'll be of a buyer using my Bitcoin, right? But using my USD stash, I'll be looking at the USD pairing. Because for all we know, this could just go sideways forever, right? And oscillate between the 15%, because this is just a 15% zone over here, by the way. 15 to 25%, right? It could just keep doing that forever. We don't know. But if it flips this, you're going to see a lot of traders enter and likely going to test 0.1, right? So that's what you want to look at. There's something else that I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, we should wrap up with this. Bitcoin dominance, especially since you're looking at Ethereum. Bitcoin dominance is at a key level at the moment. Key weekly level. And this looked like it wanted to break to the upside, right? Up until today. If you look at the past 4 hours, though, this is beginning to look weak, right? This is the weekly zone that Bitcoin has historically come up against and rejected drastically, right? It looked like it wanted to break past it, but now with this, I'm changing my opinion on that, right? And this is where the Ethereum trade also becomes a little bit more juicy. But I think the mid caps on altcoins are likely going to be where your mid caps and low caps. Could be wrong with that, but I think that's where you're going to first find the moves, and then it's going to flow into the high caps, right? Because I'm not seeing, like, my small caps are doing much better than my big caps. But yeah, this could come down. If this starts flipping and breaking to the upside, then your trading as Bitcoin is pretty much dead, right? It's going to be Bitcoin again. So yeah, in my opinion, guys, if you're trading Ethereum, use the ETH/USD chart, because that will keep you from getting chopped up on the Bitcoin pairing. But yeah, join the Grove. I'll be posting at these charts over there. Join the Discord at themangoway.com/Discord. With that, guys, Sean, you know how you talk about trading BTC ETH when it's up against the market? Wouldn't you want to trade ETH when it's weak in order to front run strength? But how do you know that's trading against the trend? That's so yeah. If you mean because Bitcoin dominance is sitting over here, it means that Ethereum is the better trade. That's fine. But if you think Bitcoin dominance is looking strong and it's likely going to break resistance, because like at that point, right, if you saw Ethereum, like Bitcoin dominance is coming up and testing a similar level. Bitcoin dominance is testing a similar level that Ethereum is testing. Okay, so it's not fair. I mean, it's not unfair to look for Bitcoin dominance to break this level, considering this is literally the 4th time it's testing it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4th time it's testing it. And Bitcoin has a narrative going for it at the moment, right? That could cause it to break this level. We don't know. Resistance is resistance until it breaks it, right? But by that logic, Ethereum is also sitting up against resistance. And you should say resistance is resistance until it breaks it. Gold has also been running really, really, really hard. So you could use gold as a way to... Why is my gold not here? There it is. As a way to kind of get an idea. Like I've been telling Krisha, the gold chart and the Bitcoin dominant chart is very, very similar, right? Putting in a very similar accumulation structure across weekly levels right over there, right? If gold breaks this, I think Bitcoin breaks Bitcoin dominance. That's how I look at it. Okay. All right, guys. With that, trade the Mango way, trade the easy way, trade the stress-free way. This was supposed to be a 15-minute analysis. So much for that. Turned into a 42-minute detailed analysis on Ethereum and Bitcoin dominance. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao. Let me see if I can find my stream end thingy. There it is. All righty, guys. And also, hey, leave a comment down below if you guys enjoy these live morning streams. If I get enough feedback on whether you guys enjoyed this or not, I will do more. And if you guys don't enjoy these and you guys enjoy, well, let me know what you guys enjoy and I'll do more of that instead. Cheers. See